guys, so today I'm gonna try to fix this canopy, this instant canopy. Went camping this weekend and some high wind came in and it kind of messed this all up. As you can see here, this actually, it bent out and broke this right here. This one got all bent out. Let's see if I can get that. See, it's all bent right there. And then the actual canopy, let's see here. I've had this for well over 2 years now. But as you can see, it's a Shade Tech instant canopy. And that gust of wind kind of, ripped some holes in it. So today I'm going to show you guys how to repair that. Here's the tools I'll be needing. I got some screws to put in. You're going to need a drill, something to mark out your material here. Now this is just one of the straps for fencing. So that's what I'm going to put in place of those that square tubing, measuring tape to measure it out. I've got a couple bolts there. You can see that Allen head and a wrench, and then here I have my drill bits. Then to take off the old rivets, I'm going to use my grinder to knock off those old rivets, and a chop saw to chop up that fencing material right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock these off, and then if you guys are doing this at home or whatever, you want to take off the part, grind on the side where it's damaged, because the grinder, if you eat too much of the material here, you're gonna end up messing this good piece up. So on this one, I'll grind it out on this side, on the one that I will be replacing. Then on this side, well, it's got the screw here, which I'm going to just replace that with the old one. Same here. So in all we're doing is cutting these two off. This is the broken one here. See? So this is the good one, and I'll be grinding it on this side. Alright, got those out. So as you can see, if you guys aren't careful, you guys could damage the new pieces. So that's why I went ahead and I grind them off on the bad side there. You can see that right there. Alright, so next up, I'm going to go ahead and measure one of these and go ahead and cut this material up. Now these are going to need 3 holes, which is the ends and 1 in the middle. So I'll go ahead and do that. And you guys can see how it's done here. Alright, so I went ahead and cut my chain link strap. So I took the other ones off. Now here, what I noticed is that one of them it's got the center of the holes at 35 inches, and the other one, I went ahead and put it more or less how it was, and it's at about 34 and a half. So I just want to make sure, I get those the way they were, that way it won't mess up anything else. So I'll go ahead and do my holes in that, and I'll be using, you know, for the size of the hole, you know, this is a Harbor Freight nut bolt, nut washer and bolts assortment. Don't matter what you use. I'm going to use this here, the M6 1x30 millimeters, and I'm going to be using two of these nuts, since it was riveted on there. So I'll just tighten those two nuts together, and that'll give it some free play. That way it can move, you know, back and forth. Along with, I'm gonna put some you know, spacing washers in between that. That way it's able to have that movement. You know, you don't want to have it all really tied up. They come with plastic washers, but you know, if I might as well replace it with steel. I might throw these back on there, you know, just to make sure it's got some play. But let me go ahead and get these holes drilled out, and I'll show you guys how it looks like. Alright guys, and then just something real quick that I mean, I was struggling right now, but I found out how to do it. These holes, they're not actually centered between, you know, between these two holes. So just make sure when you get the old one, what I did was I just lined them up and I measured them where they are. But I mean, if you're trying to do it with measurement, you know, see right there, it's got about 18 1/4 on one side, and over here you got about 16 7/8 somewhere. So just make sure that your holes are matching up with the old one. And if you don't have the old one, that's fine. If it broke off or anything, that's fine. You can just go ahead and use one of these, but just make sure you're on the same. For example, this corner is the exact same as this corner right here. So you can go ahead and get the center hole measurement with between these two, but it's not actually center. So you got to measure from this hole to the center and this hole to the center. That way it'll give you the same measurement as these two, because these two are different sizes and different centers. It's a little bit offset. So there's that. And then on this one here, what I did is I had to put in a spacer. I just use, you know, you could use any little piece of scrap metal, washers, or I actually put a nut on there, because you can see it's bigger than that, so it won't interfere. And I did that because this right here has to line up with the little buttonholes. Once you put your tent up, it's got to match up with these holes. That way, you know, when you're putting it down, you need to have that to push that little button there. So all right, let me get ready to put in these other ones. And the way I'll do it, like I said, I'm using these Harbor Freight screws. I mean, for what it is, can't go wrong. So bolt, nut for one, bolt, nut for the other one. But if you have lock washers, you can use those. I mean, if you have lock nuts, it'll be better. That's what's on there right now, lock nuts. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, you know, double nut it. That way they won't come out. And I'll also need some of these, just a spacer in the middle, you know, so the two pieces won't rub. So that's what I'll be putting in. Grab this right here, see if I can show you real quick. Now on these, remember, look, this one's on the inside, outside, inside, outside. So this one we'll go ahead and put it inside like that. Put in our bolt, put in just our regular flat washer, and then our piece of material there. And there. Right now we'll get to tightening that up. For now I'm just going to put them in there like that. Let's grab the other one. Alright, so we got outside, inside, outside, inside. So this is going to be an outside. So we'll put in our bolt, our flat washer, and we'll go ahead and put that in. Now if you guys want to get fancy with it, or you don't like the way it looks or anything, you can put flat washers on either side, you know, that way, I mean, it shouldn't happen too often, but that might start chafing this square tubing right there. You know, I don't really mind. I've gotten a lot of use out of this canopy, so I already got a new one, so this is just gonna be my backup canopy. Just make sure it's, you know, in working order. All right, so I got that. Tighten that a little bit, just finger tighten for now. All right, let's put this. There it is. Right now I'm going to go ahead and with that tarp, I mean, you could sew it, but I mean the material there is going to be too thin, and I don't really feel like putting a bigger patch just to cover that hole. So what I'm going to be doing is this magical stuff right here. This is just, you know, Gorilla Tape. Get at Walmart for like $8, $9. So that's what I'm going to use to patch up my tarp, since I'm really not too worried about it. So we'll go ahead and patch that up. We'll go ahead and put that tarp on there, and I'll show you how it is. See if this wind doesn't break it off again. See there. I got that in. I went ahead and I tightened these up a little bit. You know, not too tight. You know. There you go. Those are our patched holes right there. Got her all set up right there. It's still windy, so I can't really put it, you know, outside right now, but you guys can get the idea of it. I might need to reinforce with tape, you know, some of these corners just to make sure it doesn't, you know, keep ripping that up. So I'll go ahead and add more tape. Let me roll it down, take it down, and then show you guys that it does roll up as it's supposed to. Alright, as you can see, there she is. You just put that cover on, and that's all there is to fixing your broken canopy. See you guys.